Sup, UFC fans, and welcome to my prediction of UFC 88 Breakthrough. This is an unbelievable card of top middleweights, welterweights, and light heavyweights. Okay, first fight of the night is Nate the Great Marquardt versus Martin Kampmann. Okay, Nate is a top 10 middleweight who's coming off a loss in the match. Even though he won the fight, he just lost 2 points in the match. His opponent is Martin Kampmann, who's on a 4-fight tear in the UFC. My opinion is Martin is so screwed. Both their strengths on the ground, which gives Marquardt a big advantage, and Marquardt has better stand-up. The only way is Martin to win. The only way Martin is going to win is Randy must come up with a hell of a game plan. Though I don't see it happening. Marquardt for the win, round 3 submission. Next fight is Dan Henderson versus Rousimar Palhares. Headed by whatever he wants. Next fight is Karo the Heat Parisian versus Yokoyushi Yoshida. Now, a lot of people don't know Yoshida has fought in some mid-level shows and beat some serious competition, though. His brother is a gold medalist in judo, and he has some great judo himself. He trains at the legendary Yoshida Dojo. For once, Karo won't have a judo advantage, though Karo has switched camps and maybe won't come out of shape. I don't know how much maybe is actually a chance, but who knows. But right now he's training with GSP, Jardine, Evans, all those guys at Greg Jackson's camp, which is a huge camp. Karo will need to keep this fight standing. He will not have an advantage in the clinch or on the ground. If they do clinch up, this will be a fight of the year, with dudes getting flipped over and punched in the face and getting thrown down on their heads. Forget the Olympics. This is a place for high-level judo. It's a flip 'em up. I'm going with Karo by unanimous decision. Next fight, the Ace is coming back up to 205 to fight Matt Hamill. Ace, a great middleweight, he will have fought a light heavyweight. He fought Lyoto Machida, Tito Ortiz, and a few others guys. Matt Hamill is a great guy who has my respect for with what he did with his disabilities. Yes, he's undefeated, not counting his loss to Bisping, which most people think he won that fight. I'm going with Hamill to win by unanimous decision. But if Hamill cannot take Rich down, Rich will knock him out in the first round. Next fight, the main event of the evening, Chuck Liddell versus Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans is an undefeated fighter and a pretty high-level dude, but yet he has yet to face top competition. His series best competition so far is Tito Ortiz, and which he drawed with, and Michael Bisping, which was a close fight, but he won. But Bisping was an unbelievably small middleweight, and Evans has fought at heavyweight before. So I just don't know how fair that fight is. Alright, next for the night, Thiago Tavares versus Batman. Batman looks really good, but coming off his loss to Nate Diaz, I'm not so sure how he'll do. He lost to Nate Diaz. Kurt Pellegrino was good, but he lost to Diaz. He came close a few times to getting a title shot, but he can never just make it. His main losses in the UFC are against Joe Stevenson and Nate Diaz. Thiago Tavares is coming off what most people find surprising, a loss to Matt Wyman. Thiago Tavares was a contender until he lost that match. We don't know what happened. Who knows? But I'm going to have to give Kurt Pellegrino the win by third round knockout. Next fight is a complete mismatch. I'm assuming Matt Brown slept with Dana White's wife, because I do not know how this matchup will come to play. Dong Hyun Kim's a super high-level fighter, and right now is the UFC's only hope in Korea. Korea was known for, winning with K1 and Dream, but now that Dong Hyun Kim fighting in the UFC's got a hold of it. I mean, the last fight, even though it was on the undercard, they played like 10,000 times in Korea. Dong Kyung Kim is a big, high-level fighter, and could take on almost anyone in the division, in my opinion. Versus Matt Brown, and he's good. He's UFC level, not the level of Dong Kyung Kim. Dong Kyung Kim by whatever he wants. Well, I'm going with knockout because he's okay ground game. Next fight, Rome Carnero, who's an IFL veteran, versus Rio the Piranha Chonin, who's a Pride fighter. Okay, we all know Rio has this huge win over Anderson Silva, which a fight he was losing, but came up with some sort of a spinning heel hook thingamabob. Rome Carnero, a high-level fighter, he's fighting at 170, fought in the AFL, I think. His losses, he's coming off 2 losses in the UFC. John Fitch and Kevin Burns have 2 wins in the UFC, though. I just think Rio Chonin's going to take this fight. I don't know how, I don't know why. Who cares? Next fight is Jason Lambert versus Jason McDonald. Jason Lambert was on a 5-fight winning streak at one point. Then his career started going downhill. Then he got the win over Babalusa Brawl. Then he was on a 2-fight losing streak. First, a top-level middleweight in Jason McDonald. He only has 3 losses into the UFC, which are against the top contenders. Rich Franklin, Yushin Okami, and Demi Maya. Now, Jason McDonald's coming off only a 1-card fight. He fought at 87, now he's fighting at 88. Not the biggest break in the world, but since he's the athlete, he's always in shape, so good for him. Next fight is Tim Boetsch versus Michael Pat. Tim Boetsch, because I do not know who Michael Pat is. Okay, that concludes my predictions for UFC 88. Thanks and